Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon. Happy Sunday, everybody. Good evening and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits, because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Here it is, guys. We got a short show. It's not going to be a long one, but I just wanted to give you guys an update revolving around this situation, around this case, because long story short, let's be real. The situation with Diddy is not getting any better. Let's just be completely honest, okay? It is not getting any better. And I think that he is cooked. Sorry, guys, I'm just taking care of something really quick behind the scenes here, just to make sure everything is Gucci. Okay, guys. But yes, guys, this is some serious stuff. And I think that this is not good. Like I said, I think this is a very, very bad thing for Diddy for many, many reasons. All right. But we're going to get into this conversation. This is a big deal, guys, in my personal opinion. Okay. Given the fact that it is, as you see in the title up above or down below, wherever you're watching the show, there's some serious movement going on, and we are here to talk about it. So do me a favor, hit that like button down below, crush it, do what to do, hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, I'm on all those platforms, so make sure you're subscribed or following those platforms, on those platforms as well, okay? Make sure you're subscribed here on my main channel. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. There's a lot of things I'm covering over there that I'm not covering over here, and vice versa. So make sure you are subscribed to both channels, all right? Make sure that notification bell is set to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because it is random, and a lot of times it's breaking news, like this information, okay? So do me a favor, do that for me, okay? Hit that join button down below, become a member, check out my Patreon, check out my locals, and of course, check out PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there, PascalMerch.com. Go check it out. I guarantee you're going to find something you're going to love over there, all right? But guys, we got something we got to get into a conversation about. Yesterday, we talked about Terrence Howard's claims about Diddy trying to put some moves on him. I guess he was like, hey, I want you to teach me how to act. And really, Diddy was trying to get in his pants. Kind of crazy stuff, right? But now we're looking at something new. Now, we already knew. The one thing is for sure. Cassie's video. Actually, it's before that video. Cassie's lawsuit. The documents that she dropped a while ago. It feels like 5 years ago now, right? But those documents, when she dropped those things, that started the tidal wave of allegations, lawsuits, and for the feds to be looking at the diddler in the way that they have been as of late. Now, obviously, we jump forward. We have seen the smoking gun evidence of a video where she is basically getting viciously attacked in a hotel in LA. It is very, very... Once she dropped that lawsuit, it said everything for me. It's a wrap. It's a wrap for Diddy. Now, what the feds have against him, that's up to them. If they have anything federally, that he did anything federally, they can get him, if they can tag him for those things, then it's a wrap. In my personal opinion, he's done. He's in a very, very bad place right now. Now, I know that there's been rumors of a possibility of him getting bail, but I don't see it happening anytime soon, in my personal opinion, okay? But nonetheless, Cassie is the one who started this whole thing. She is the first domino to get knocked over, right? And since then, it has been downhill for Diddy. Or, all the documentaries that have been like the downfall of Diddy, Diddy's downfall, all that stuff. You get what I'm saying. He's in some serious deep water and in some serious trouble. But now we really haven't heard much about Cassie in regards to this case. all right, in connection to Diddy and all the things that have been going on. We've heard her name in documents. Actually, we haven't even actually heard her name. We've just been hearing victim one, right? A pseudonym, okay? A fake name to hide behind for all of these victims that are all starting to step forward. But now we're hearing something different. One is for sure, Diddy's trying to unearth, he's trying to make a motion to get all of the victims to come out from anonymity. That's right. He's trying to unearth all of them. He doesn't want the likes of Cassie and them to hide behind some sort of Jane Doe or victim 123 John Doe, whatever. He wants them all out there for the world to see. Now, that's a tactic that has worked for him already. We've already seen in other lawsuits that have been dismissed or just been thrown out the window solely because those Jane Does were supposed to file as their real names, but then they do not end up filing under their real name. So then that lawsuit gets thrown out the window. So that tactic has been working for Diddy. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that I agree with that tactic or not. Let me just keep that really real with y'all real quick. Okay. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm, this is the best thing. All these liars. No. I'm not saying any of that. But it is a tactic that happens to be working for Diddy. It happens to be working in favor of Diddy, which is very interesting. I need these people unearthed. They need to be out here. They need to stop hiding behind these pseudonyms. They need to be unearthed and exposed. They need to be not hiding behind the cloak of anonymity. This whole thing needs to be ripped off. Some of these judges are sitting there saying, "Yep, I approve that. That motion, go ahead. This Jane Doe or this John Doe must speak out or must step forward and proceed in their lawsuit by their legal government name." That has worked out for him. Some of these lawsuits have been dismissed and dropped because they are too scared. Either they're scared, it's up in the air, really. It's either they're scared or they're lying. There's only two options there. Either they're scared or they're lying. So he's still doing that same tactic right now as we speak. He is asking for all the victims, all the people that are going to be hiding behind pseudonyms to be unearthed in this federal court, in this federal trial. He's saying everybody that is coming in to testify on behalf of the feds, I demand they all come forward and let the public know their names. Let's know their real names, not just hiding behind Jane Doe, John Doe, victim 1 or victim 2, 3, 4, 5, and on. F all that. Expose it all. But here's something really interesting. And I like this. Okay. I'm about this life. Cassie's sitting there going, "Hey, I don't need to hide behind anything, baby. I will testify. I'm not scared. I don't need to hide behind a victim 1 or victim 2 or John Doe or Jane Doe. All right. I will testify. And I don't need to hide behind the cloak of anonymity." And let me tell you something, guys. This is no bueno. No matter what. I mean, let me just tell you this too. I figured this was going to happen at some point because we already know, everybody been known who victim 1 is. She's the first person to speak out. Like I said earlier in the show, she is the first domino to be knocked over to start this whole downfall of Diddy, right? She's the first one. So why wouldn't she step out and just testify? This also shows you something else too, that she's willing to stand 10 toes down on her claims, on what she experienced. And I'm telling you right now, I forgot how many pages it was. I think it was like 78 or 80 pages that we read through, which was wild, right? That stuff was wild. Okay. Her lawsuit, not the other ones. let me tell you something. The other ones were kind of wild too. Have been wild. Okay, some of them are. I don't even know how that's even real. But at the same time, sometimes life can be stranger than fiction, like we've talked about a multitude of times, right? But what's interesting about this, okay? Her 78 some odd page documents lawsuit. Let me tell you something. I'm sure that's just the tip. And I don't mean that as an innuendo. I don't. I'm just saying what she's experienced, I'm sure, would have been a 1,000-page document that she just said, nah, we just going to leave a lot of things on the cutting room floor and we ain't going to talk about that right now. That's what I truly believe. I believe there's so much more to her story than meets the eye. Real talk. And there could be questions, big questions, that prosecution could ask her while on the stand that may have never been talked about or unearthed ever before, that could destroy Diddy even more. I'm telling you right now, the man is in serious trouble. I know that we have our, our Diddy, our pro Diddies, okay? Our hashtag free Diddy guys out there, okay? We like we always have, we got our pro burgers, like our pro co-burgers out there. We have a bunch of people that not trying to delve into this world, but I'm just saying, there are people who think that Karen Reed is innocent. There's a lot of people that don't think she's innocent, right? There's always opposing views, right? We saw the whole hands off rally and protest that happened a couple days ago, and there's a lot of people that feel some type of way against the hands off protest that happened a couple days ago. Of course, or yesterday, I'm sorry. So of course, there's always going to be opposing views. But nonetheless, what this woman went through shows and says a lot. That video alone says a lot. And I'll tell you this too. It shows to me proof positive that she ain't lying. At least she's the only one so far that we know of that has any type of smoking gun evidence to really destroy this man. Real talk, this is the evidence that destroyed this man. You got to remember, too, he was out here lying through his teeth, saying, oh, it's a witch hunt. Lying through his teeth and having his lawyer's life on his behalf as well. This is one big witch hunt. She's lying. Don't believe this liar. Don't believe the hype, so on and so forth, right? Only to find out that video comes out and destroys this guy. He has to come out and say, yeah, I found God. That's not me anymore. I found God. I found therapy. I found rehab. Stop with the mess, right? You were caught red-handed doing something terrible. It is the video that launched 1,000 feds in his direction. Real talk. And there's no way he's going to get out of this. His team is doing everything they can to try to get him out of this, but they ain't going to get anything. They're not going to get much further than where they are, which is still at the starting line. They won't. And they've tried everything under the sun to try to justify the video. And then, of course, let's not forget the freak off videos that they have that actually do have Cassie in those videos and all that. They're doing everything they can. They're trying to do everything they can to move the goalposts for this man. And so far, the courts have not leaned in his favor at all, because what they have is very damning. What they have is going to destroy this man, if he hasn't already been destroyed already. So let's take a look at this article, guys, because like I said, there's some things we're going to take a look at here. He's in big trouble, guys. I know a lot of other people are like, no, they ain't got enough for him, and they ain't got enough on him and all that stuff. I don't know about all that, guys. This guy's in some serious trouble. It's going to be a wrap for this dude. And in May 5th, around May 5th, unless they've moved a date a day or two around, he's screwed. Okay? As everyone's doing shots of tequila, all right, and having margaritas, okay, and enjoying some chicken chalupas and quesadillas, all right, ringing in that Cinco de Mayo, he's going to be in a courtroom trying to get out. And he's not going to get out. I'm telling you right now. He is not going to get out. And I know it's quesadilla. I know some of y'all going to be like, actually, it's quesadilla. I understand. It's a joke. Quesadillas. But let's get into this. Like I said, he's in trouble. If she comes out, she's going to be coming out guns blazing. I'm telling you right now. Guns blazing. So Cassie plans on testifying during Diddy's upcoming trial, and it won't be anonymous, TMZ has confirmed. So victim one, which she has been named this entire time, all right, all of these documents that they have put out, that we have seen going back and forth, defense, prosecution, defense, prosecution, defense, okay? Back and forth. It's been nonstop, right? They've always been, whenever they refer to Cassie, it's always just been victim one. But now they're saying, rip the Band-Aid off, baby. She's ready to play. So victim one is prepared to testify under her own name. Okay? She is screwed. I don't know how to do the closed captioning. I don't know how to do the closed captioning while live. I've been trying to find that, and I don't know how to do that. I've never seen it used. And I've tried to have it used here, but I can't do it. I'm sorry, guys. But we're going to get back into the show. Victim one is prepared to testify under her own name. We already did the dun, okay? During the upcoming trial, where Diddy will defend himself against charges of racketeering, conspiracy, trafficking, and transportation to engage in prose. So Cassie is the person known as victim one, which we all knew, okay? We all knew that she was victim one, but but I get it. It was all just a guesstimation at that time. So there are 3 other alleged victims who have requested their identities remain secret during the trial. And here's the thing. Again, let me repeat this. Diddy is trying to unearth all of their names. He's saying, F it. I want all the victims to come forward and be known. I don't need them hiding behind their pseudonym. I don't need them to hide behind victim 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need them all to come forward with their government name. And the thing is it's an intimidation tactic. It's his way of trying to get people to kick rocks. Oh, no. If the judge says, okay, I'm out. I'm done. I'm gone. Right? I'm out of here. And that's exactly what he wants. That's exactly what his team wants. And that's exactly what's been going on for these other Jane Does and John Does that are going after him civilly. A lot of them have dropped out solely because the judge ruled in his favor, saying, yes, that John Doe or this Jane Doe needs to step forward and proceed with their actual name. So now he's trying to do that with the feds. And one thing's for sure, Cassie's sitting there going, oh, no, you ain't going to scare me. And I'm going to step forward and I'm going to be real. Everybody already been known it's me. So why do I have to keep hiding, right? Why do I got to keep hiding? Shoot, I'm going to come out and talk. You telling me that I got to step forward? I've already done that. In fact, I got millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars for doing so. So yeah, let me do this. Let's continue. Let's continue taking this man down. Now, I'm hoping that other ones that are other victims that are hiding behind their pseudonym, I'm hoping that they feel the same way. I hope that they turn and see what Cassie's doing and they go, you know what? Shoot, let's go. I'm standing with her. You know what I mean? That's what I'm hoping for. That's really, really what I'm hoping for. Okay. But real quick before we continue, do me this solid, okay? Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. Please do me a favor as well. Subscribe. And also make sure that notification bell is set to all. And if you haven't been getting notifications, or you have, and blah, 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 because there's been, it's been a little up and down with notifications from people sending me emails and letting me know about all that as well. Just do me this solid. Just turn the notifications off, turn them back on, set them to all. Okay. That's it. All right. And try that. Okay. Because I want you guys to know about these updates. And I know a lot of you guys still care about the updates revolving around the Diddy trial that's coming up. And that's fastly approaching, guys. I mean, literally today is the 6th. It's coming up in a month. Real talk. In a month, we'll be in Diddy Watch. I don't know if it will be Diddy Watch so much because the trials can't be or won't be on camera because it's federal. So there won't be any cameras in the courtroom, but still we're going to be watching. We're going to be watching like a hawk and trying to get as much information and of course, play by play going on inside that courtroom, right? So make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Turn it off, turn it right back on. Okay. And of course, if you want to support, become a member, hit that join button down below. Check out Patreon, check out pascalmerch.com. But here's the thing. Okay. That wasn't federal. Che, that wasn't federal. Federal is something completely different. Okay. This is federal. So let's continue on, though. All right. And for a fact, there's going to be a bunch of people, I'm sure, watching from outside, waiting for any type of updates. There's going to be people scouring the internet on X and all that stuff, trying to get as much updates. You know what I'm saying? During this particular trial, because, everyone's going to be hanging on every syllable. Okay, every syllable that comes out of these people's out of the court's mouth. Okay, and hopefully there'll be some people that'll be live tweeting during the trial because I want to watch this. Okay, I most definitely want to watch this. But let's continue on. Okay, guys. So again, there are 3 other alleged victims who have requested their identities to remain secret during the trial, and I hope that they change their mind here in the near future. Might as well stand with her in solidarity than hiding behind the pseudonym. I understand the fear. I totally understand. It's their prerogative, but at the same time, it'd be nice to see them step forward too, okay? Just to be with her, right? But prosecutors say using pseudonyms instead of real names will prevent harassment and other adverse consequences for alleged victims. And I understand that piece too, right? You don't want to get out here and say, it's this, that, and the third, okay? And then suddenly, my name is such and such, and then suddenly they end up missing, right? They end up not showing up, or they suddenly get paid off or scared off. You see what I'm saying? So, of course, keep them behind their pseudonyms for sure. But I think that as they come out and they show up to testify, their names will most definitely get unearthed. They will get exposed. Okay. So that'll be interesting to see what happens here. So just last month, prosecutors in the case finally handed over the names of 3 anonymous women to Diddy's legal team. So he's aware of who's leveling accusations against him. So there's 3 anonymous women that have actually been exposed and been given, their real names have been given to Diddy's team. So now they're going, no. It's fine that we know, but we need everybody else to know. We need them to be exposed. Just like Cassie, who's willing to step forward and saying, F it. You want me to talk? I'll talk. I got plenty of things to say. I got time, right? She got nothing but time now, right? But these three other girls, three other women, they're sitting there going, hey, they're scared. And understandably, right? And we, of course, have seen the video of the attack. We all have seen it. Okay. But her identity had already become public because the indictment references a hotel attack, which we've all seen. Obviously, the one CNN published last year, then apparently destroyed the tape of. So the one thing that's interesting, and I forgot to say this earlier, and one thing that I think is really ridiculous is that his team is sitting there saying, oh yeah, they manipulated the video. CNN manipulated the video to make it look like he was even worse of a monster. What was there to edit around? You could have sped that thing up, slowed it down. You could have made it as long as the damn movie, The Titanic, okay? Could have been 3 hours and some odd minutes long. Still would have shown that this man was an absolute monster. It doesn't matter if there was jump cuts or anything. He still was putting his hands on this girl. He still was putting his feet on her too. He even didn't he throw a vase, however you say it? Didn't he do that too? Doesn't matter if there was jump cuts to it. But that's what they were doing. But there were jump cuts. They manipulated the video. What did they manipulate? They didn't cut it so that it made it look like he had his hands on her. That was him in real life. They didn't use AI to make him throw that vase. Come on now. He did that his own damn self. Moving on. As you know, Diddy was arrested and charged in September 2024, months after his homes in Miami and LA were raided, which we already know. We already know he's been locked up. Okay. And of course, we already know about Cassie suing Diddy in November of 2023 for alleged R, A, and HT. I hate that we have to use all these damn acronyms, but you get what I'm saying. All right. The two sides settled their lawsuit within days of the filing, though it seemingly opened the floodgates and led to numerous other lawsuits against the mogul. And then, of course, they've reached out to Diddy and Cassie and have heard nothing back. But again, I mean, we should not be surprised that she's willing to step forward. And the fact that she's willing to step forward and even to triple, quadruple down on this, okay? The fact that she was willing to come forward on this says a lot more. What she went through, a lot of other people went through as well. Whether they were in relations with him, intimate with him, or if they were just artists that he was taking control over, that he was cultivating and trying to turn into that next big thing. Okay. I'm sure there's a lot of stories that we've heard so many. There have been so many people that have come out with so many stories, but I guarantee you that is just the tip of the iceberg of what we've heard or of what we really know. I'm sure there's so much more. There's so much more. Okay. Mimi, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. I'm telling you right now, there's going to be more coming. There's going to be more stuff. And I think that people are slowly but surely getting brave enough to step forward and speak out and say what's going on and all that. And like Terrence Howard, right? I'm sure he's been interviewed a bunch of times before the interview that we watched last night. Okay. Or yesterday. Right? I'm sure he's been interviewed a bunch of other times. But in this particular interview, he feels compelled enough to talk about what's going on or talk about his experience with the diddler. Okay. Again, thank you so much, Mimi. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate the support. But again, suddenly out of nowhere, he's like, oh, yeah. And he starts talking about Diddy. And you can even see it on Patrick Bet David's face. Just absolute shock. He's like, yo, I didn't know we were going to. Whoa, I didn't know we were going there, but okay, we could talk about that. Let's talk about it then. You know what I mean? Viral video, right? Because Terrence Howard, has some things to say about his experience with the diddler, because the diddler was trying to get in his pants. It's crazy. It's crazy, guys. But I'm telling you right now, that's just a perfect example of that there will be more people stepping forward, talking about their experiences, talking about their run-ins with Diddy. Whether it is, he wanted me to teach him how to act, or you must do X, Y, and Z, and I will make you a star, right? Sacrifice your body for your stardom, and so on, right? Crazy stuff, y'all. Let's take a look at this. So feds add 2 new charges for Diddy as judges consider anonymity for alleged victims. Let's take a look at this. And shout out to Megan Cuniff, all right? So federal prosecutors on Friday announced 2 new charges. This is what happened over this weekend, okay? So they announced 2 new charges against Diddy. He's got 2 new other charges, y'all. Hamburger. It never stops because they keep on finding out more. He did this too? He did that. What? He did. Say that again. He did what again? Diggity damn. Hamburger. He did what? Oh, snap. He did that too. Oh, damn. And you got to remember, there's so much stuff that they're looking up. Okay? There's so many things that they're still looking up that this is slowly but surely unraveling even more. Sandra said, only 2? He has a slew of other ones. Let's not forget that too. All right? So yeah, 2 more for now. Okay? So, 2 new charges against Diddy, okay, ahead of his criminal trial next month. Remember, it's next month, y'all, in New York City. The jailed rapper and business mogul faces 5 counts under the second superseding indictment. Racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of STing by force, fraud or coercion, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in S workers, okay? And a partridge in a pear tree. The alleged victim in the new STing count also is one of the alleged victims in the racketeering conspiracy charge and is an alleged victim in the 2 S working charges or pro charges. Wow. So this person alone added a whole bunch more charges on Diddy alone. One person. Ain't that insane? So the other victim, okay, in the pros counts is identified as victim number 1, aka Cassie. Okay? So the new indictment also includes a sentencing enhancement for the racketeering charge that relates to the new STing offense. And it clarifies that prosecutors believe Combs, quote unquote, kidnapped and carried and displayed a pew-pew to female victim, and that the defendant dangled a female victim over an apartment balcony, according to a letter from prosecutors to U.S. District Judge Subramanian. I can't say his last name. Subramanian. It sounds like adamantium. I don't know why, but it does. Moving on. With all due respect, I'm sorry for butchering his last name. Not a choice. Anyway, Combs' public relation team said in a statement that the indictment doesn't contain, quote unquote, new allegations or new accusers. These are the same individuals, former long-term girlfriends who were involved in consensual relationships. This was their private S life, their sexual relations, defined by consent, not coercion, according to the statement. Now, you remember, we saw well, we didn't see them, but feds claim that they actually have possession of these S tapes, okay, of these freak-off tapes. And remember the audacity that the defense actually had. They actually said, well, it was consensual. You could see in the video, she's on cloud 9. She's enjoying every minute of it. Come on now. And we talked about that. That's ridiculous. So it's the same thing when it comes to these former long-term girlfriends. What if these girlfriends were in absolute torment? That question should still be asked, right? And that question should still be brought into question, right? And talked about. What if these people were actually scared for their lives, did not want to upset a very powerful and very seemingly, allegedly very dangerous man? So what do you think they're going to do? They're going to abide by the rules that he sets in place for them. Clearly, this is somebody who gets off on control. And I have to say allegedly, but that's the vibe I'm getting here. Aren't you guys getting that same vibe? Prosecutors want Combs to be arraigned during his final pretrial conference on April 25th. So final pretrial conference is on the 25th of April. And hopefully we will be right there to talk about it and everything, okay? And watch from the outside, okay? Jury selection will begin on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Okay? Opening statements will begin on May 12th. So it's about to be crazy, guys. There are 4 alleged victims. Prosecutors expect each to testify, and they asked the judge, okay, before I destroy his name again, all right, they asked the judge on Friday to allow 3 to testify under pseudonyms. Ventura, identified in the filing as Victim 1, is prepared to testify under her own name, according to a 12-page motion. But the others have asked that their identities, not be revealed to the press or public. Prosecutors want them to testify under pseudonyms, and the court to seal exhibits with their true names. I don't see any problem with that. Real talk, I don't. They also want the judge to preclude Combs' lawyers from eliciting personally identifying details of those witnesses. And I get why they want to do that. Think about this for a second. You are prosecution, and they're sitting there going, hey, you're the defense, and you're dirty, okay? You're dirty, okay? Because let's be real. The defense is not coming off like they're trying to go by the book. That's at least the vibe I'm getting. I feel like they're trying to move mountains to get this man to win. But imagine if you're the defense. You know exactly who these people are now. These 3 individuals have now stepped forward and said, hey, the prosecution gave them the names of those witnesses. And those people are going to be testifying. But you don't think that somebody could accidentally leak, they got this funny tattoo on their face or whatever it may be, whatever that would definitely identify them like, oh my God, are they talking about Mary J. Blige? You know what I mean? Like, think about that. Think about that for a second, So of course I could see them going, you do not give anything physically about myself, anything that would definitely make sure, anything that would definitely expose me as a witness, right? I don't want y'all to say nothing about me. I'm going to show up, I'm going to do my testimony, and I'm out. But I don't want the public trying to figure out who I am or up until now, okay? I don't need the public knowing who I am and what I'm doing and why I'm there. Because I don't want the press and media all up in my ass. Leave me alone. Don't tell them that I'm like, somebody wearing red hair or something like that. Always, got the mole under my, my left nostril or something like that. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, So I get that concern. And rightfully so. The defense should honor that, right? But they're also, from the vibe I'm getting, they're dirty. Okay? That's just what I think. This case has already received an exceptional amount of media coverage. Yeah, you can say that again. Which will presumably only increase as trial proceeds. This is what it was being said in the motion. Permitting these measures will prevent unnecessary public disclosure of the victims' identities and the harassment from the media and others, undue embarrassment, and other adverse consequences that would almost certainly follow if these women were forced to reveal their true names publicly at trial. If they want to stay behind anonymity, by all means, let them do so. But I'm telling you right now, the names are going to leak. That's my prediction. That's really my prediction. That's really my prediction. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it all transpires, right? We will see. Rianne, thank you so much for the love. It's why he calls himself Brother Love. Bruh. Yeah. Him throwing vases and vases and vases. Yeah. Putting his hands on people. Oh, that's definitely signs of brother love. Oh, I love people. You know what I mean? I'm not violent. And then cut to video of him just stomping on him. Just crazy. Okay. I found God. I found religion. I found therapy. I found rehab. Come on. And I'm sure even before he got arrested, he was still on stuff. So you lying still then too. You know what I mean? They said they found pink powders and all that stuff before he got arrested. So he lied again. Dag nabbit. You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? He said, and that video wasn't long ago. I mean, long after. That wasn't like an old video that he did, and then he posted it again to basically say, yo, I recorded that apology like 2 years ago. No. Oh, no, cabron. No. He did that right after the video dropped. The security cam hotel video that we've all seen. So he said, I'm not perfect. I'm a man. Right? I found. He said all those things, right? And then what was he arrested? What did they find in his place, in his hotel room when he got arrested? All kinds of pink stuff. You know, that Tucci. Didn't his mule also get arrested too? Just a few like a week or so before that? So what are you talking about? He's found God and he's found sobriety and all that stuff. What are you talking about? So it's one big lie. Oh my gosh. I'm just saying. Ain't that a little weird, don't you think? Those kind of things suddenly, it feels like it hits even different now. You're like, oh, wow. I didn't even put two and two together. Oh, my damn. Wow. He really did do that. He did. I found God. I found therapy. I found sobriety. All a lie. That's crazy. You know what I mean? If you really think about it, that's crazy. Because his mule got arrested. Then later on, he got arrested. And he had all kinds of stuff, paraphernalia and whatnots, all up in his hotel. And then there's been nothing but stories about him out here just fully zooted 24/7. And how he's not now anymore, I'm sure, but how he was getting into them cold sweats. And no, it's not because he ate a whole bunch of steaks the night before. Okay? Just cold sweats. Ain't that crazy? That's crazy, right? Welcome to Diddy. So he a liar. Okay? He's a liar and he's a thief. Let's move on though. Crazy. All right. So Combs' lawyers, like I said to you guys before, oppose anonymity and will file written opposition to that motion. Okay. Similar arguments about anonymity are being litigated in some of the civil cases against Diddy. Three of the judge's colleagues in the Southern District of New York recently ruled that four people suing Diddy for SA must publicly identify themselves if they want their lawsuits to continue. Now, one plaintiff moved to dismiss the case instead of filing an amended complaint with her true name, like we talked about in the very beginning of the show. Okay. Now, the three others have until this coming week, this coming Friday, and next Friday to decide if they can do the same. The dismissal occurred on Monday in a lawsuit alleging Diddy of attacking a woman in 1995 during a party at Elks Plaza in New York City for the music video to One More Chance by Notorious B.I.G. U.S. District Judge Lyman, said in a March 6 order that the woman cannot be granted anonymity merely because she brings an SA claim, regardless of the severity of her claims or her allegations. The very gravity of these charges, combined with the fact that plaintiff has presented no evidence of specific and concrete harm from disclosure of her identity and the severe prejudice to defendants from keeping that identity confidential, undermine her claim to proceed anonymously. So he gave her, that woman, until March 20th to file an amended complaint under her true name, and she never did so. So that Judge Lyman, then dismissed that case after Combs' lawyers reminded him of the dismissed deadline. So they said, "Hi, remember she was supposed to file something else at that time, and she did not. What you gonna do now, Judge? We're gonna say it for you, dismiss it, right?" And that's exactly what they did because she didn't do anything, right? That's terrible. And of course, plaintiff's lawyer Tony Busby, oh boy, that's another conversation in itself. Have mercy. But anyway, he told Legal Affairs and Trials in an email that his client opted not to proceed. That's why they did not proceed in filing. Okay. There's a lot of fear amongst these plaintiffs. I thus can't blame her. All right. These are tough cases, and there are many times re-traumatizing for those who pursue them. Each case stands on its own merit. This woman chose not to proceed and subject herself to a media circus and the perceived danger she felt. We have to respect that. And this is according to Busby. Okay? Busby. All right. Let me get this really quick. Sushi Jezebel. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Thanks, Pascal and Maz. P.S. Love all our hoodies. So comfy. Yes. Yeah. What? I was like, why is that button not working? Yes. Like I said, thank you so much for doing that. Yeah. Nice little reminder. Go and check out PascalMerch.com. Guarantee you're going to find something you want to put yourself in. Pascal Mertz. Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much, Sushi Jezebel. I appreciate you. I do declare. I appreciate that, sweetheart. Yes. Okay. Mopping my brow. I do declare. But anyway, yeah. Clothes are great. Go check it out. Sushi Jezebel just said, loving the hoodies. They love them. Go get some more then, damn it. Okay. PascalMerch.com, dagnabbit. Go check it out. Yeah, I don't know. That came out weird. I didn't mean it to. That was a double entendre. Okay. There was a double meaning in what I said, and I didn't mean it to, you know what I mean? All right. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Okay, let's continue though. Okay, yeah, I am crazy. What else is new? Have you met me? Have you been watching the show, Jupiter? It's all good. You're just busy in your own orbit. Hey, okay, let's go on. I'm done with the dad jokes. Let's continue on. Okay. So, two other judges last week issued orders similar to Lyman's. Again, like I said, all judges are going to have their own decision to make, right? They're all going to sit there and say, okay, this Jane Doe, yes. This John Doe, no, right? Each judge is going to be different. And apparently two other ones are looking to do the same thing. You must come forward. So U.S. District Judge Cronin on March 28th rejected anonymity for a man who says he was plied with substances at a house party in New York City in 2022, not so very long ago, and awoke to Diddy SAing him. Cronin said privacy interests favored the man, but he said the risk of potential harm is neutral. He's not wrong with that. The judge is not wrong with that. But I do understand why somebody would want to hide behind anonymity, hide behind the name. Let's be real, okay? The judge initially allowed the man to proceed anonymously in a November 22nd order that credited the severe emotional distress the complaint says the man suffered. But Combs' lawyers opposed that request for long-term anonymity. So the man's distress claim, quote unquote, merits closer scrutiny. And the Cronin, I guess the judge determined the man's distress claim is too general. While the court does not doubt that an incident of SA is often, if not always, traumatic for the victim, a conclusory assertion of the possibility of generalized harm applicable to all victims of SA, it is insufficient to carry plaintiff's burden. This is what the judge wrote then in February, ruling from his Southern District of New York colleague, U.S. District Judge Clark, in another lawsuit against Combs. So Cronin rejected Tony Busby's offer to identify the woman only to the lawyers and not to the public. He cited in order for the U.S. District Judge I don't know that last name. I don't know it. Last October that rejected anonymity in another lawsuit against Combs and said people, quote unquote, with information about plaintiff or his allegations that would be helpful to the defense likely would have no way of knowing to come forward. Okay, so Cronin also said he has no basis to assume that the man's identification. So we has no basis to assume that the man's identification would pose a risk of retaliatory physical harm to him or harm more generally to innocent non-parties. The man also is represented by Busby, who filed a declaration stating Combs threatened violence against many of his other clients or their families. The judge, however, pointed out that Busby didn't mention the man who is the plaintiff in the lawsuit before Cronin. So this vague representation as to individuals other than plaintiff is insufficient to establish a risk of physical harm to plaintiff himself, even assuming Busby's unsworn declaration is properly before the court. So again, I mean, when we look at all this, okay, at the end of the day, they are trying to unearth all of the Jane Does, all of the victims, victim 1 through 7,000, however many they end up having. They still got a lot of time to add more victims, add more names, and add more pseudonyms onto this trial and this case that the feds are stacking up and getting ready with Diddy. Now, Diddy, yes, I agree. He has every right. This is the part that I agree with. He has every right to know who these victims are. His team has every right to know who these victims are. and who's testifying against him. That is his legal right. That goes without question. That's his legal right. But as far as the rest of the public, we don't really need to know. We don't. Let's be completely real. We don't need to know. And if it means that they get to step forward without the fear of retaliation of any type, whether it's media or it's, public scrutiny, or if there's some very violent retaliation, then so be it. Let it be what it is. Let the chips fall where they may. Let them come in, let them testify anonymously, and let them live the rest of their lives, right? Let them move on and live the rest of their lives. That's the other thing too. As soon as the public finds out about something like this, what's going to happen? You have all these people that are out here that are diehard, pro-free Diddy people out here, let's just say. They're speaking out against him. Those people can do some very, very bad things. Those pro people that are just hardcore stands that are willing to do whatever it takes to get their idol out of prison. You don't think that they're willing to do something extremely detrimental that could maybe possibly either scare somebody away or take somebody off this planet for good before they actually testify? So I get it, saying, hey, don't let anybody know anything. Keep everything under wraps and stay quiet. Mum's the word when it comes to these things. I'm with that 100%. Now, when it comes to the Jane and John Does, don't get me wrong. I believe that they need to be taken care of and protected as well. If they want to stand behind a pseudonym as well, just like a John or Jane Doe pseudonym, then they should have that legal right to do so. But when it comes to the actual trial, they need to step forward. And I feel like those things can stay under wraps. That's the right thing to do, in my personal opinion. That's the right thing to do. Keep things under wraps before it gets crazy, before it gets all out of hand, before someone gets hurt. And that's the one thing that I'm more concerned about, is making sure people arrive to those trials, to those courtrooms alive, and they go back home alive, and they're able to live their lives in the best way that they see fit. That's how it should be, right? Let me see here real quick. Beautiful Disaster, thank you so much for being a member for the past month. I appreciate it. Pascal, you are 100 the best. We are happy you do your show and started it. Thank you so much. We are you entertained, or we are entertained, I guess. Maximus voice. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. I know sometimes sometimes I come off a little ADHD, and I apologize, but sometimes when we're constantly talking about all this gloom and doom all the time, sometimes it's just nice to turn it off and just let it rip. You know what I mean? Especially when it's a Sunday, But again, thank you so much for your support. Emily, thank you so much for being a member for the past 8 months. I appreciate it. We love the jokes. LOL. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But again, like I said, when we see all these updates, I understand that there's certain things that I don't want to happen, right? I'd rather have these Jane and John Does stay behind their Jane and John Doe names, right? Those pseudonyms, keep them behind under wraps, as long as they have smoking gun evidence. I hate to say it like that, but there are some people out here that are just lying for the sake of lying. And then they get lucky because they have the pseudonym to hide behind. So if it doesn't work out and everything falls apart, they're not getting scrutinized. They're not being looked at in any type of way. You see what I'm saying? They're not getting the finger wagged in their face. They're not looking at charges for lying. They're not. And there's plenty of people out here in this world that have lied and have destroyed people's names and their lives solely so that they can look good, right? Or so that they can have more fame or whatever it may be. I mean, we're obviously we've been talking a little bit about that Blake Lively stuff, right? We've been talked about the Johnny Depp stuff, right? So now when we see this, it's like, wow, there's some serious stuff going on. These are serious allegations. And here's the thing. I'd rather weed out all the liars, weed out all the people that are not true victims, because it waters down the severity of the claims that are coming from actual victims. You see what I'm saying? That is the most important part. When somebody comes out and they straight up lie, that murkies the water, that dirties up the water even more for all those people that are trying to have the guts to step forward and get the justice that they feel like they rightfully deserve. And I believe that there are some actual victims out here. I'm not sitting here saying they're all liars. Hell no. I think that there's a lot that are telling the truth, but I also think within that, there are still some snakes in the grass that are making things up because they know that they can possibly just get a quick grab of money. Or maybe it's mental health. I don't know, right? Mental health issues or something. I don't know. But at the same time, that's why when you look at this, it's the double-edged sword when it comes to people hiding behind a name, hiding behind a pseudonym. It's frustrating because you want the victims that are truly victims, you want them to win without a shadow of a doubt. And then you want the ones that are not telling the truth to go kick rocks and stop lying. But I guess, that's what's so crappy about this situation. We may not know who's telling the truth and who's not. Only time will tell as each case keeps dropping or each case gets dismissed. But that's the other problem I hate too, because there's going to be people who say drop the case because they're so terrified. They're finally getting enough courage to step forward and they're like, oh, wait. You mean I can stay behind a John Doe? Okay, yeah. Let me file under a John Doe. And then Judge Lyman or any of these other judges sit there and go, nope, you got to proceed with your name from this point on. And they have to refile. So then next thing you know, what happens? Those people that are truly telling the truth, they dismiss the case because they're terrified. And what sucks is that the court of public opinion is looking at that and going, oh, so that guy was a liar. Oh. You see how crappy that situation is? And I feel like there's going to be a mixture of those too. Some people are going to be scared, straight up scared, and they're just going to want to leave. They're going to want to dismiss because it's like, wait a second, this could ruin my life. This could ruin my career. This could ruin my family. No. I don't know. No. I don't want people knowing my life. I like my life the way it is right now. I don't need it to be worse. So they get scared and they kick rocks. Instantly, the court of public opinion goes, that was a liar. You see what I'm saying? And that's unfortunate, right? That's really unfortunate. So I guess that's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles, right? When it comes to these lawsuits. So we're going to see what happens. But again, like I said, it just kind of sucks when you go, you want to believe the victims. You really, really do. But then something happens and you're like, wait a second. Were you really in that room with Jay-Z? You were? So then why are you saying that you weren't, but then you're saying that you were? You know what I mean? I know that's a sensitive topic for a lot of people. Okay, that specific Jane Doe. But you get what I'm saying, right? So I'm hoping that the people that are actually stepping forward and say, we'll see how many of these lawsuits actually drop. Because there's a bunch more from other judges that are saying, nope, when we proceed, you have to refile under your government name and become public. We're going to see how many of them stick around. And that will be very telling as well. The ones that stick around, they must have some scathing, hard evidence to destroy Diddy and take Diddy down even more. It's the same thing with the victims with Russell Brand. He's looking at some serious charges, man. This is not just a civil lawsuit that he's getting hit with. He's getting charged criminally. So hopefully the courts did their due diligence. They're looking these things up. They have enough smoking gun evidence to show proof positive that this particular person, like Russell Brand, okay, really did those things. So I'm hoping the same thing is over here with Diddy. It's crazy stuff, guys. It's a crazy time we're living in. But, you know, we're going to be finding out more information as time goes on, for sure. It's just absolutely crazy, guys. And it's only a month. Jury selection starts for Diddy in 29 days from now, give or take. Real talk. Cinco de Mayo. It's on like Donkey Kong. Anyway, guys, that is the show. Appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. We got a lot of things to talk about, okay? I may be on a little bit later on this evening. Well, not later on this evening, but, you know, in a couple hours, 4 hours or so from now, because there's some other things to talk about, some other things that are going on in the world. But I'll let you guys know what's popping, all right? But we'll be talking here soon. Again, appreciate you guys checking out this update in regards to this. So please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush that like button. Hit that reaction button as well. Don't forget to hit that follow button on all my platforms. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button here. Please and thank you. Go to my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe over there as well. That'd be greatly appreciated. Okay. Check out my join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. Check out my locals. And of course, check out PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff. Okay. Go check it out. All right. Anyway, guys, appreciate you guys for being here. It means a lot. I'll be talking to you guys very, very soon. Have a good one. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.